All right, that was Deep Cries Out by Bethel Church, one of my faves. I think all of these songs are my favorites. I always say that. All good. I wanted to talk to you guys today about wise counsel, okay? Proverbs 12:15, it says, "The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice." A wise man listens to advice. So many times we think we know what's best, or we think we know what's right, and we don't, right? It seems like the older we get, when we look back, we see that, man, that was stupid. What I did was stupid, or I knew nothing. I thought I knew it all, but I didn't, right? And we tend to make a lot of mistakes that way. The Bible tells that if we're doing everything on our own, right, and in our own might, what happens? We think we're doing right. We think we've got it all together, but we don't, and we can make mistakes, and sometimes we have to suffer consequences of those mistakes, and we'd rather not do that, right? Proverbs 11:14, it says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." You need to walk with someone. Walk with someone who is further along than you. I know so many times, I'd want to act on certain things, as a Christian, thinking that I'm doing the right thing or going in the right direction. But then someone who's more wise than I, who's been around longer than I, and has treaded that path that I'm walking, says, "Hey, Jessica, chill out. There's a trap right there in front of you. I know it because I've been there. I've fallen into that trap, but I'm here to let you know. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have. So listen to me." We need to surround ourselves with wise counsel all the time. Proverbs 19:20 and 21, it says, "Listen to advice and accept instruction, that you may gain wisdom in the future. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand." We can do things, our way, right? But it's not necessarily God's way. God's plans for us they just supersede the plans that we have for ourselves. And but the purpose that God has for us, do you know your purpose? Do you know what God has called you to do on this earth? Looking back, I would have never thought that I would be doing what God has called me to do, or what He's told me that I'm going to do in the future. I couldn't see that back then. I would have been like, "God, you're crazy," right? But, the more we seek Him, the more we seek wise counsel, we'll be steered into the right direction. And it's not easy. It's not easy. If you're stubborn like I am, sometimes you get frustrated when people try to tell you what's right and what's wrong, when you just know that your way is the right way. You know what I'm saying? You just want to believe that, hey, no, I'm right. Don't tell me something different. But we have to soften our hearts to what God is telling us to do, to what He's speaking to us. And we need to surround ourselves with people who are further along in their Christian walk than we are, because they can illuminate so many different things that we wouldn't even be able to see. A couple weeks ago, I had a situation, and I just knew that I was right. And then my mentor, she basically said, "Hey, this is a trap." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's God telling me this." And she's like, "No, Jessica." And I stepped out on faith, because part of me was like, "This chick is crazy," but I was like, somewhere inside of me, I was like, "She's not. Like, I know that she's a God-fearing woman. I'm just going to step out on faith, God. Okay, and I'm going to listen to her." Come to find out, she was right. And there's been so much growth in the past couple of weeks of me walking with her. I don't know how long it would take me to learn these things if I would have done it by myself, done it on my own. She told me herself, hey, it took her years to understand certain concepts that she's trying to tell me. How much easier is it when we listen to someone else who says, "Hey, sweetie, I've been there, done that. Just listen to me." The devil wants us to be stubborn. The devil wants us to think, "Hey, you got this. You don't need to listen to that person. You know what? that person, is something's wrong with them, or, the devil just kind of hardens our heart towards people, and that's not God. That's not God. Yes, we have to be wise of who we walk with, who we receive counsel from. Definitely. You don't receive everyone's advice, right? Not at all. But with wisdom, God will bring people into your path that are necessary for the season that you're in right now. So I just encourage you guys to walk with God and walk with someone who is further along than you are. Gain that knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that you don't have. Get that stuff under your belt now instead of learning about it and understanding it the hard way, after mistake after mistake, It's just so much easier that way. And God is so good at bringing people into our lives. We ask for it, right? We say, God, help me with this, help me with that. And he brings people to us, but we push them away sometimes, right? I love that analogy where, was it the person's on the boat or something, and they need to be rescued, and they're like, God, help me, I need to be rescued, God, come save me. And then someone on a bigger boat comes by or something, and they're like, hey, you need help? And he was like, no, God's gonna save me. So the person left, and then someone else comes by, floating by, hey, you need help? No, my God's gonna save me, God's got me, right? And the person's like, all right, dude, right? Third person comes by, same thing, right? And God tells the guy, hey, because the guy's like, God, where are you? I'm asking for you to help me. And God's like, dude, I sent 3 people and you pushed all of them away. I was trying to help you. God doesn't necessarily work the way we think he's going to work. Man, I'm realizing in my life, he works in my life the opposite of what I think he's going to do. And a lot of times it seems as though he does that just to remind me, Jessica, I am God, not you. I want you to see how awesome I am. That growth in God, right, comes from increasing our faith. These little things where we rely on God, trust in him, and he just blows our mind. He does something just totally different and blows our mind. So I encourage you guys, walk with wise counsel. You are not meant to do this alone, all right? What am I going to play for you next? Not sure. I just have been playing worship music a lot because I'm feeling worship music. I love it. Next up, guys, I have Turning Away by Brian Andrew Wilson. I love this song. Enjoy it, guys.